Welcome back to another episode of the Experts in Fire podcast. I'm your host, Mike Vennard, and with me today is Randy Mowry. Today's episode is, can you roast marshmallows on a gas fire pit? Let's get into it. Hey Randy, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm well. I'm just loving the topic we're about to discuss. So
I know. I was just sitting here laughing and chuckling too.
I'm picturing a kid walking up to a bug zapper with a marshmallow on a stick, right? Because it's like, it's zapping bugs. It's got to be able to heat my marshmallow, right? And here, we talk about it. I know over on the sales side, you guys talk about it all the time. And we train heavily on it here at Woodland Direct. Curse of knowledge. If I know a lot about something, I hear a question asked and I just kind of go, what? But, I mean, let's be honest. I've got a gas fire pit. I got a stove, right? It's a fire, man. I'm outside. There's a bag of marshmallows there.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully you got some chocolate and some graham crackers on there. Real funny story, real fast. We have two dogs. One is a husky Malamute, and so she is furry, and one is a chocolate lab. But we were at the cabin and roasting mallows on the open fire, and all of a sudden, one did the bloop thing. Somebody cooked the mallow too long, and the dogs were just snarfing everything on the ground, and it blooped right onto the nape of her neck. That's the husky. It took a long time, without just shaving that fur all the way down to the bottom, it took a long time to get that marshmallow out of her fur. So I tell that story because as Randy and I were sitting here talking about this, what we figured we would talk about are the things you need to watch out for, right, Randy? It's the idea of understanding what you have in this gas fire pit and can it cause any harm. So I guess would that be a good place for us to start?
A single drop? Probably not. So what we want to consider is a few things within the burner itself, Mike, when we're talking about roasting marshmallows. So just to clarify, like you said, can you roast marshmallows over a gas, propane, or natural gas fire pit? Yes, of course. It's a flame. The drawbacks, the safety, the things you want to consider is this. The blooping, droppings, the marshmallow droppings, because it's inevitable, it's going to happen. It's going to land on the media. Whether that you have a really nice, pretty looking fiberglass media, or you have a natural volcanic lava rock inside there. Really, you're going to end up throwing the media out. You're not going to probably sit there and try to scrub all that off. And if you don't, it's just going to build up, it's going to burn. There could be some different side issues there with that melted material on top of your media. The bigger, deeper concern, Mike, is depending on somebody's fire pit burner, things of that nature, what they're made up out of, is the burner, where the flame comes out of. These melted marshmallows getting on the burners themselves and covering the ports where that flame and that gas is coming out. That's really the bigger, kind of underlying issue in there.
Yeah, when I think about it, we have so many different burner offerings, and even if you bought a fire pit from, big box store or something of that nature, a lot of those are going to be similar in terms of a tube style with holes in it. That's where it can get messy. That's where it can get pretty gross. But then you turn around and, we have a couple manufacturers, and I think, Randy, you jumped online and just to check and see what they say, and they're like, yeah, go ahead. And we both went, huh?
I know. I exactly. I was like, what?
Their style of burner has a lot of little holes, and it produces a really cool flame. But now, if that mallow drops onto those holes, you're changing a lot of dynamics to that fire pit. You have fire-related questions, and we have answers. You can email us your questions at podcast@woodlanddirect.com or give us a call at 586-221-3638. We would love to be able to answer them right here on the Experts in Fire podcast.
And I just feel that's where this discussion really starts to go, is the safety concerns of too much melted mallow getting on the burners and plugging holes, and then that fire feature not working properly, which in turn could cause some problems down the road. Safety problems, possibly. I don't necessarily know, but there could be some safety issues there. Especially if you start to cover with too many holes. Think of you wouldn't sit there and put a piece of bubble gum over the holes of your burner and just leave it there. It's kind of the same thing with the marshmallow material. It's that same sticky, gooey style material. So
right. I think that's the best approach, right? If you're going to roast the mallows, just maintain the fire pit, right? Make sure that you take the media out. And, we talk about this as well in terms of removing the media, cleaning the media, checking all your fittings, all of that. Just add it to the checklist to say, hey, I like roasting mallows. Cool. Just step up your maintenance game a little bit and make sure you're checking on that. And you can even do that, between fires, between opportunities to make sure you get that mallow cleaned up and get it removed. A part of the thought that I have, though, and I don't want folks to take this a whole lot further, because there are other implications if you start setting up, well, hold on a second now, I can't burn wood here, but I got this gas pit. And I can see it running through my own head, man. Okay, if I just build a couple blocks over on the side here, I could put a grate there, and man, I could be cooking burgers.
That's where I was going next, Mike. You're like reading my mind over here. I was just getting ready to say, and we're talking about the burners itself, not covering the holes. I would encourage folks, do not put a grate over it and start cooking your hot dog and hamburgers. It's not a grill. So a grill is specific. It has flame distribution, angled tamers over the burners. It has a drip pan. It has all of these things for cooking. A fire pit does not, and you do not want to do that. Because then you're just asking for future trouble and safety issues in that whole fire pit itself. So don't do that. You want to do your marshmallows, get the kids out there, have a blast, some glow sticks, in one hand and most marshmallows in another. That's awesome. But no hamburgers, because you're 1 a.m. and had a couple cocktails and you're hungry.
And it's really a maintenance. It's a deterioration thing at that point, it's 1 in the morning after adult beverages. That's a deterioration thing as well. Okay, let's make good decisions, people. Let's make good decisions.
Right.
But yeah, I'm with you. It's heat, everybody. It is an opportunity to enjoy the fun. I'm picturing all of the decks that I drive by when I go through these subdivisions. At least here in the beautiful state of Michigan, folks sit out in the front, in their driveway with these little wood-burning fire pits, and they just want to enjoy fire. But I know I have a lot of friends who have gas pits on their decks in the back as well. And yeah, man, I can enjoy a mallow with the best of them right there. That's good stuff. But be smart. Read your manuals, know what you can and can't do. And most important, it's like anything else. I'm never going to tell you inside of a space like this, no, you can't do that. Yes, you can. Because again, it's flame coming off. Just be smart. That's all. Be smart in what you choose to do, because I don't want to see your investment deteriorated and then frustration set in, right? So
absolutely.
I feel like that's the only way we can really help. What do you think, Randy?
Well, so just from a safety standpoint, I can't help but mention it is a heat, it's an open flame. So just make sure that we stress that to the little ones that, yeah, it's not wood burning, but it is still going to be extremely hot when you get close to it. And, to have, the stand back, because it is still it's open flame, it's heat, it's going to be hot. We don't want the little ones to get the misconception that it's not wood, it's not going to be as hot as wood, but so just all those safety considerations, just keep in mind, please.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. That's good stuff. Keep the kids safe, but have a good time, right?
Absolutely. Have fun.
Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy life. We're only here for a minute, as a friend of mine says, so enjoy it as much as you can. And Randy, I think if we talk anymore, we're just going to be talking in circles at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I think, we're good with this one for sure.
I might run downstairs to my gas stove, grab a mallow, and make it happen, baby.
There you go. That's a great point. A mallow's going to melt on your gas stove. Look at the mess you created there. You know?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
Think of that outside as also. So
That's great. All right, Randy, as always, brother, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you to all of our listeners. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want to just join the fun, or if you want to say, hey, you guys were wrong, give us a shout. Let us know. We'd love to have that conversation with you. We are not so bold as to think that we know everything. We're dependent on all the people around us. And as a matter of fact, while I trained, Randy was one of the guys that helped me, and one of the lines I always used was, if I don't know, I'm surrounded by a bunch of professionals and I can get you the information. So use us anytime you want. We appreciate it. And as always, thank you for listening. Join us next time for the Woodland Service Experience. We'll see you then.